right, I'm back. I'm gonna do a quick, I guess a quicker collection video. I do want to do a breakdown of like all that's behind me, that shelf over there. I do have a lot of movies, so I do want to make that video, but I know that's gonna be a long task. So hopefully now in the next few weeks, I'll break down and get that video filmed for you. But I'm gonna do easily the smallest part of my collection, which is 4Ks. There's pretty obvious reason for that. I hate buying new movies. I hate buying them at cost. To me, I'd much rather find them used at a discounted price than buy them new. And that's the problem with 4Ks. I've bought a few used ones, and I'll go over them. So typically, I think I might have bought like 3 new 4Ks in my life. So I'm not really too big on like spending that much for a movie, but I do really like 4Ks. If I could own every movie in 4K, I would. But sadly, that's not really feasible unless you want insane credit card debt, which I don't even own a credit card. So, but I'm going to go over them. I think I have a decent one, or I have a good selected picks. So let's get right into it. All right, so first on the stack is going to be Big Lebowski. This is obviously one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know, it's pretty hard if you're a stoner male young man. This is just such a great movie. I think it's excellent for one of the best comedies. I just watched this for the first time. I bought it a few months ago, but didn't watch the 4K release of it, and it's really good. Music sounds excellent on it. The picture looks really good. It looks to me similar to the Blu-ray. I wouldn't say it's a huge upgrade, but just really glad. To me, I want to own like all my favorite movies on 4K, so I'm really glad I have this one, and I'll definitely be watching this version for years to come. Next, this is one I actually haven't not seen on 4K yet. I did buy this one new, but I think it was on sale, and I'm really glad. I love The Wolf of Wall Street, one of my favorite movies, one of the best of Scorsese, and to me, it's one of the easiest to watch 3-hour movie. It feels like an hour and a half, and so I'm probably gonna watch it now in the next few weeks. But really glad I have it, and I can't really rate the picture quality, but I imagine it's going to be really good. It looked really good in on the Blu-ray. So, all right, next is every 14-year-old film lover's favorite movie, and that is The Dark Knight. I really do love this film. I think it does kind of get overly praised. For me, what I really stand by is that it's easily the best comic book film ever made. And there is some excellent performances in here. There is some issues though. I think like there is that like side plot with like the Hong Kong businessman and like all that shit. I thought that was really dull and like was unneeded because this is like this 2.5 hour long movie. And I think if you took that out, made that 2 hours, really just focus more on the Joker and everything, gave him more screen time. Because he's really not in this very much. And also I just got this, and that was in my last video. So have not seen it yet. Really excited to, because I know there's a lot of IMAX shots and some really dope shots of. They filmed it in Chicago, so really Gotham, but it's Chicago. But no, really fucking good, and excited to watch it. Next, this one was actually pretty pricey. I did buy it technically used, but it was still sealed. This was I bought for probably around $40. I don't really think I needed it. This is one of the Stanley Kubrick's earliest films. I think, let's say, 1956. It's a really good crime movie. But I probably would have been okay with just having the Blu-ray of this. But it's pretty good. It's a Keanu. Probably to me the biggest disappointment I thought was like this is gonna be really cool release, like have a lot of features or anything on it. I don't remember anything. From what I remember looking through it, it just had like subtitles, which of course to me that's like a given. So just the 4K disc, nothing else to it. So really good movie, important movie. Glad I have it on 4K, but honestly I've really overpaid for this and. But excellent film. All right, the next one to me is easily the best animated movie ever made. I'm not including anime or whatever. There probably is a better anime film than this. But Spirited Away would probably be a really close contender. But I think this is excellent. Easily probably Disney's animated best movie. Love this film. Love the 4K. Looks excellent. Sounds great. I think this one doesn't have that like stupid Morning Report song on it. And so that's better. The DVD release is like it's like you have to like select not to have that version, which is stupid. But no, really good. Glad I own it on 4K. Excellent film. The only Disney 4K. I know I was looking. There is a Ratatouille 4K. I have been spying at a local pawn shop, so I might get that in the next few weeks, depending. Next is a film I have not seen, but I've been not harassed, but heavily advised to watch by one of my coworkers. He absolutely loves this film. I'm really excited to watch this film. It is The Deer Hunter. This is from what I've heard, I'm not claiming that this is true. Could maybe not be true. Sorry, this is just really white. It looks like God is interfering with this. But no, this is, from what I've heard, an excellent Vietnam film. I know it is one of John Cassavetes. I always screw up his last name. Cassavetes. I'll show his picture. I kind of have a man crush on this guy. I don't know. He's just an excellent actor. His filmography is incredible, even though he's done like 5 movies, like The Godfather, Dog Day Afternoon, and this. And apparently has a bigger role in this film. So I'm really excited to watch it. I think Willem Dafoe is in this movie. Really excited to watch it. It is 3 hours long, so that's why I haven't like made the afternoon or set aside my evening to watch it yet. But really pumped too. Glad I have it in 4K. I'm sure it's like it was shot on film and everything, so I'm sure it's gonna look excellent. Next is an embarrassing one I have not seen. This is like probably one of the top movies that's like constantly in my watch list, constantly in the queue, but I never like bit in the bullet and watch it. But is the John Carpenter's A Thing. Originally when I bought this, because this was on sale, thankfully, but I originally bought the stupid remake, and I didn't realize it till I looked at the back of the packaging. I was like, wait, this is not John Carpenter. So I was really pissed about that, but the guy thankfully let me swap these out. So I got the good version. Really pumped to see it. All the screenshots and scenes I've seen from this movie, it looks incredible. It looks super creepy, strange, and has a cool like cabin feverish feel to it, and not really too long. I think it's only about 145, so really not too bad. I'm excited to see it. All right, this is an excellent. This is the only Criterion 4K that I own, but I'm glad I do, and that is Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems. This is an excellent film. Easily Adam Sandler's best, next to Punch Drunk Love. Such a good fucking film. The Safdie brothers are some of the best directors working in Hollywood today. This was just so good. I love the ballsy ending. And yeah, just so much of this film was just really worth it. I'm glad I got it. I actually didn't see the movie. I just always heard the praise about it. I think it was like a Netflix movie, but I'm glad I kind of was blind by, which I just like dangerous sometimes for like these boutique titles, but I'm absolutely pumped I got it, and I'll be watching this movie. This one actually I believe is the first 4K I ever bought. It is A Quiet Place. This movie I've really kind of changed I don't know, I've kind of like now thinking back, I'm like, was it just the time when I watched it? Like, it was a fun thriller for the time. I remember the night watching it. It was kind of fun. It was like a really gross, like, stormy night, and we watched it. What I thought kind of added to the feel of it, and at the time I loved it, but I don't think I think I did rewatch it, and I thought it was definitely didn't like hit as hard as it did the first time, but I think it definitely is like definitely a PG-13 thriller, like intro to horror-ish kind of. It's not very bloody. And I think to me the biggest thing is I really wish the alien designs were a lot more interesting, because this came out at the same time when Stranger Things was huge and just blowing up and everything, and it looked exactly the same. Like, it looked like I'll show 2 images, both from the 2 different ones. To me, I can't tell apart, and that really to me brought me out of this film. Next, another one I haven't seen, but this was a great deal. I got this for $5 at a yard sale. This is a sequel to Spideyverse. I love Spideyverse. That is also probably one of my favorite comic book movies. I've heard this one's good, but not as good as the first one. And there's really no reason why I haven't seen it. I should have seen it. I have the 4K. There's no reason why I shouldn't have seen it, but I will, and I'll get around to it. I promise. This is another one. This was a gift from a friend, so best free. And this is a film I haven't seen. This is the classic, and that is Vertigo, Alfred Hitchcock classic. And from what he told me, shout out to you, Liam, is that this is like what brought him into enjoying 4Ks and appreciating 4Ks. And I know the film is like very highly praised by like old ass film critics, so I'm sure it's really good, and I'm excited to see it. Film, I think, is like, for me, easily my favorite 4Ks. I've seen digitally, it looks okay, but I find digital movies have always looked good. That's just kind of the era that they're in. So for me, I think film 4K remasters are just so much more interesting. So I'm gonna watch it in the next few weeks. Promise you, Liam. And, this is actually one of my recent pickups. True Lies. I know this was like one of those infamous films that never got a Blu-ray and should have gotten a Blu-ray. And so they did finally release 4K remastered. I'm really pumped to see it. Have not seen it. Heard it's one of Arnold's best. And I know Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. Friggin' Zionist. Let's not get into that. But yeah, I've heard it's really good. James Cameron, Canadian. You know, I got it for $15, so pretty good deal. And I'll see what it's like. 90s action movie. I think post Terminator 2, James Cameron. So, you know, probably won't be the same. Next, we got Blues Brothers. This is a comedy I've never seen. Very strange comedy. Not what I was really expecting, but still pretty good. Definitely to me, what saved this film is the direction is actually quite good. It's pretty impressive, the sets and all the crazy stunts that they did in this movie that you would not expect. And also, too, the biggest thing, I know they were a band, but like they actually really did put the effort into the music. And I think a comedy, if you are going to make a musical comedy and you don't really put that effort into it, it could really bring back the film. But I think the reason why it's still like around and somewhat relevant is because of that. And shout out to Cocaine for helping make this movie. This was in my last video. Santa Sangre, really fucking pumped for this release. I have actually the 4K disc in my player now. After this video is up and edited and uploaded, I'm going to watch it and check it out. Really pumped to see it. This is a very cool release. Has the information on the back. Weirdly does not have the running time on the back. That's why I love Criterion. Like, standardize this shit. This is a Severin release, which I've never actually heard of that boutique company. This was I was like, okay, it's a 4K of Santa Sangre, I'll buy it. That's basically my thing. But it has like different characters from the movie and scenes from the movie throughout. And the weirdest, I guess, this is kind of the thing that they included is like these different postcards. I'll get into that in a second. But you know, they have some of the more of the scenes, and it opens up 4-disc release. So really cool. Price probably this is my priciest 4K I've bought, so I'm really happy that it it is a very good 4K release, not like The Killing or whatever. But these are like postcards from the movie, and I've seen this movie, and like some of them kind of are scenes that are like iconic from this film, but they honestly seem really like random to me. Like this is kind of an iconic scene from the movie. But, like, to me, there was so much more, especially, like, the way the Colt looked. Like, the Colt in this film is, like, really interesting, and the art direction from Jodorowsky is, like, so fucking good. And I don't know why they wouldn't have a postcard of, like, the weird Colt, and they had, like, a really interesting, like, sanctuary and everything. I guess this one's probably my favorite of all of them. Is the protagonist there going insane. And so I'm pumped to rewatch. It's been probably about a year since I last seen it, so I'm hoping it'll be, I'll enjoy it just as much. I imagine I will. Jodorowsky does really hold up on rewatch. Yeah, overall, just cool fucking release. Really pumped I got it. Glad I didn't buy the $55 Blu-ray and just bought this instead. So, really pumped and really nice, nice case. Everything about this. Pretty dope. Alright, and last and not least, I'm going to make a video on this film. Mallrats. I know this might be maybe this might take away my movie buff credits, but I don't really give a shit. This is my favorite film of all time. Just the impact that this film has made on me. I just love this film. It's such a comfort film. I love so much about it, and this was a gift from Liam. Shout out to you again. He's spoiling me. He's a spoiling man. But this is an excellent 4K release. This is my first Arrow release. But it looks excellent. It comes with the theatrical cut and the director's cut. I'll get into that. That was really nothing to write home about. It's Kevin Smith like opens the extended cut, and he just basically says like there really wasn't much of a movie beyond the actual cut to it. The film looks great, but like they didn't really have many alternate takes or anything like that. And there's like a few shots that actually has like a few missing frames, which is really strange. So like for a second it'll like kind of skip or something, or like almost look like it skipped but it didn't. So it just is strange, but I'm excited. I haven't seen the theatrical cut on it. I think the theatrical cut is like excellent. and it perfectly encapsulates the film. Didn't need an extended cut because all the extended cuts, like I think nearly like 210 or something like that. It does not need to be that long. A lot of extras on it. Also, probably my favorite thing about it. Haven't put it up yet. Just want to find a good spot for it. Booklet on the film. And the coolest part is easily the poster inside, which is like, if you've seen the film, it is the plans that Jay and Silent Bob used to crash the basically rip-off Love Game part of the film. So yeah, this is a great release. To me, the biggest thing for what I want to look for when I'm buying 4Ks is basically just to try to get all my favorite films on 4K, because that's the best way to preserve and keep your favorite films with you. But I'm really not going to go into debt to do that. I'm going to wait. I'm going to find my deals. So there's like, for me, the biggest one is like Wes Anderson and like the Coen brothers. They're kind of like right around here. I have a lot of their DVDs. I have a lot of their films, but a lot of them are on DVD. And I just have like, I don't know, different. I have a Plex server, so I'm not going to watch those DVDs. So it'd be really nice to upgrade those just to Blu-ray. I don't really, to me, I'm not too big on just like throwing out $40 to get it on 4K. But yep, that's my collection. I do want to get deeper into all the other ones that are behind me. I have a lot more to talk about and show. But thank you guys so much. Thank you for that comment on that last video. And thank you to everyone.